Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh back on a Tuesday with a 5-game slate in the NBA. We've got best bets in this episode, looking at player props in another episode. So make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Continue to follow along with us all season, bringing you both of these episodes each and every weekday this season. So Nate, let's go ahead and get right into it with this interesting game, man. I like both these teams and what they're doing. We're talking Sixers and Wizards. You'd like the Sixers to handle this one on a back-to-back.
You like what the Wizards are doing, huh?
I don't hate it. I like some players. Maybe I'm just winning bets on them.
Yeah. At least like they're starting to develop an identity that isn't just like tank as hard as possible, let Jordan Poole shoot a ton. But I mean, that's not going to lead to wins, in my opinion, against good teams. And the Sixers are looking damn good, man. And so even on the back-to-back, I think you take the value here for them -4, even under that right now, because of the reputation for back-to-backs in the NBA. But this is a young guard-heavy team. Guys like Maxey and Edgecombe are probably not going to have any let up on 0 days rest. And Quentin Grimes can step in and play even more off the bench. And then we get Embiid for like 20 minutes and like probably going to top his 18.5 points in those 20 minutes against the Wizards, who he loves to play. Right. So he intentionally sat that front leg against Orlando so he could just put up some numbers here. I mean, there's markets to look at. Just wire to wire for the Sixers is +175. If you think they usually on back-to-backs, teams start hotter and then maybe their legs tire out later. You see that sometimes if they don't come out flat. And Washington is the second worst team in the first quarter, allowing points. Philly's been scoring a bunch early, and then I don't really see Washington coming back. I mean, I don't see them winning at home because it's just a dead building, right? I mean, they're 42 ATS at home last year, -13 margin of victory though, and only -8.3 with the rest advantage. So yes, not a team to worry about with the back-to-back situation. And they lost to this version of the Philadelphia 76ers, the Lonnie Walker, Adembona, Quentin Grimes trio beat the Wizards. So I mean, this version where you have Maxey scoring champion through 1 week, right? I'll take the Sixers again.
100-1. We talked about it in the futures. 100-1. This is a very good offensive team right now. They're the number one offensive rated team in the league. Both these teams playing with pace for sure. Although Washington, you expect to maintain something close. I mean, maybe not 108 for its pace, but like Philly at 100 feels like maybe they're a tick high, and Washington will continue to play this fast. But Philly's offense, like without Embiid especially, is going to just do that. You said guard heavy. You're totally right, because they also just have like Kelly Oubre, Quentin Grimes, wing 6'9" to 6'5", but like both get boards, both can dime, especially Grimes can ball handle. Like they have they fill out the roster nicely. Everybody knows what they do and what they're supposed to do, and then they're led by a guy that can do it all with the ball in his hands in Tyrese Maxey. So yeah, like I don't hate this team, and I think this is going to be something to legitimately watch because if Embiid is able to come in and do what he does in 20 minutes, like tonight, plays against the Hornets, plays against the Wizards. Yeah, go ahead, play against these teams, play against the Suns when you get them. That's great. Like give Embiid his 20 minutes in those games, and then let the guards try to take on the other competition that they face here. I'm with it. I like where you're at. I also like where my squad is at, but I do think the Bucks are in a good spot here. I think the Bucks have played some comp, obviously outside of the Wizards, and the Knicks. Look, they've also played some teams definitely to start the season. But I also think that I like the Knicks defensive rating stuff has carried them. They haven't figured out anything offensively. And Milwaukee still does similarly to Philly. Like they have an identity now, and in the sense that it is Giannis. We know it's Giannis, but then they have ball handlers and shooters more so than I've ever seen. You've got like finally Doc is like, maybe I should put AJ Green and Gary Trent at the same time with Giannis. And then I have two incredible shooters with one of the most unstoppable players ever. The Knicks have Cat questionable. They've got Deuce McBride questionable, which is a big asterisk for me with how well he's played offensively for them off the bench. As I continue to mention, their struggling offense, which is rated like ranked 23rd right now in offensive rating. The Bucks are 9th. And yeah, like they scored 133 against the Wizards. So maybe this is a little bit inflated in its own right. like I said, like we know what we're about now, son. Like we've got Miles Turner doing exactly what he does. He knows what he's about, that's for sure. And everything else is just the lane is clear for our boy, for Giannis. And so he hasn't really had to pull out too much. He's got 2 30-point games. I do think he wants to make sure he maintains around a 30-point average this season. I think he'll do that against the Knicks this season. Didn't even have an opportunity to do it against them last season. 2 of the 3 games they lost by more than 24 points last season. So one of the one game that was relatively close, he did put up 34 on him. I would think this is a game where it's like, yeah, OG is going to try to do his best, but no Mitch Rob. Isaiah Hartenstein's not coming through those doors. There's nobody that's going to be at the rim as Giannis is carrying OG to the rim. Who's going to meet him there to help out? Nobody, right? And Cat, even if he is out there, will be on Miles Turner. Nobody that he loves to guard more than Miles Turner because he knows he's not going to have to go too close to the basket on defense. So I'm kind of shitting on my team, even though I do still think the Knicks look really good. They're 5th in defense right now. Mike Brown will do that for you, but I think the way that the Bucks are playing coming into this one at home, this is one they have marked on their calendar as a nice win early in the season.
Yeah, it's a spot for the Bucks, and the thing I found in research is that the Knicks have just been awful guarding spot ups and threes and above the break threes. So if you want to look at AJ Green or Gary Trent or Turner to hit those threes, definitely like it. I mean, Giannis cannot be stopped; he can be contained, but that is, I do think, even if he gets his 30-35, that this game is going to go under. And it opened at 232. The market agreeing here as it's pushed down a little bit, but toggled back closer to the 230. I mean, New York is one of the slowest teams in the league. And if it's a big Eastern Conference matchup that they have their like haunches up, you see that kind of playoff place come into play. Lots of P's there.
Yeah.
That Cavs game was a total luck over in the opener. I mean, Sam Merrill like hit a barrage of threes, and Donovan Mitchell kept coming down the stretch, but that was trending way under. They only got to 222 in Miami, the fastest paced team in the NBA this year. Yeah. And if Cat is out, you trade less offense for more defense. They've gone under this number 6 straight without Cat, averaging 211 a game. Giannis, yes, while he's done his thing, he's averaged 24 points per game his last 6 against OG Anunoby. It is a negative 68 with only 9 free throw attempts. The Knicks limited Giannis to 9 free throw attempts in those 3 meetings. Part of the reason they ran away. If you can keep him out of the paint, keep him off the line. And they held the Bucks to 102 a game. I agree with you that the Bucks are not going to be shut down to that degree, but the pace is what I'm looking at. 94 pace in those 3 meetings. These totals are up across the NBA because everybody's playing so fast, right? To open the season, everybody's getting up a ton of shots, but the Knicks are the exception, right? And they kind of bring it down in the mud, especially if Cat's out. Brunson's going to have to do everything here, and he's going to dribble the ball out right to the end of the shot clock, get his stuff going eventually. And both these teams are good in the first quarter defensively so far. In fact, number 1 and number 2 in those departments.
Interesting. Yeah, I can get with the under for sure. And like Brunson at 27.5 points for his prop makes me think that people are going, Cat's not playing or something to that degree, because he has not been hitting quite like that so far this season. And like I said, like the offense is supposed to be different this season for the Knicks than it was last season, in that others are supposed to be actively participating. Jordan Clarkson looks like a shell of himself, which increases that importance for Deuce McBride to be out there, which he may not be. And as good as he is defensively, he's actually proven to be more helpful for their offense as of late, so far this season anyway. Last season, they loved him coming in as a helpful stopper because it was sort of like him for Brunson. And now it's like, no, we're going to need them both on the floor at times, because we know Deuce is not scared of scoring, but he's definitely going to need to lead that second unit. And yeah, I'm just not there with it right now with them. I like what they have here. They have the pieces. They have the ability. They got Mike Brown, who I love. They're going to figure it out. Maybe some dribble handoff with Cat a la Sabonis in Sacramento. But we just got to put a quick spotlight on who we've dubbed the real Triple J, which was a tough sophomore season for our attempt at his real Triple J moniker there. But I think he's coming back with a vengeance this year. There was definitely injury last season. It was a wonky season last season, and they didn't really have an offensive identity. I don't want Tyler Hero to come back to this team. Like I want him, I wish him all the best and all that. And I want him to get healthy and play basketball. I just don't want it to be in Miami, because I like the pieces that this team has without Tyler Hero. But you throw him in there and there's a big wrench, but he hasn't been there. And that's why we have Jaime here looking good at 20 PRA. And we've had this at like 17 and a half, 18 and a half, and it's climbed up. But I would put this closer to the 24 or so that he's been averaging. He's looking up at about like 16 points per game already this season for Jaime. And the key is the transition because he is really, really important to their transition and their ability to play super fast. And Spoelstra has said this specifically, that he defensively for Jaime to be out there is massive because of their ability to then play fast on offense and not worry that they don't have guys back on defense, because they know they have a guy like Jaime Jaquez who's like Ed Reed, let's call him, on defense at times out there, the way that he's playing safety and able to just cover so much ground and cover multiple guys. So they're going to continue to play him at the roughly 27, 28 minutes he's been at, because even if he doesn't start, he is going to play at the end of the game. They do not trust Jovic, and he is in what I would imagine probably is Tyler Hero's spot. Perhaps they do, take somebody else out if they wanted Jaquez to end. They put him alongside Bam and then Hero and then Norm and Davion Mitchell. And then you're talking about it's kind of for Andrew Wiggins, but Wiggins has not done much this season as well, which is a big part of that. So all of this stuff for Jaime right now, 20 PRA, I think is a little bit soft, and I think 24 would be a much better projection for him.
Yeah, I think his core line is 21 and a half. So the parlay gets you down to the even money. But yeah, this is supposed to be the shootout of the night, right? 242 total. Hornets are lighting it up. They get up and down, of course, as long as LaMelo's out there. The Heat are fast paced, and it's just a much better fit for Jaime if Norman Powell's going to be the cog here than Jimmy Butler, was just such an awkward fit in the first half of last season, right? So I understand why he's getting hot here at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they were kind of the same player in what they did to the for the offense. But that is all the time we have for you in Best Bets. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because we're coming back here with the player props for you, specifically all those in the other episodes. So check those out. Best of luck tonight until we see you next. Happy betting.